I'm super excited to be in Perth. Um, I can't wait to get it rolling. With new additions of Danny Mills and Scott Morrison, and all the NBA experience and prowess that they bring. I'm super happy to get there and learn, play right alongside Bryce Cotton, who's been so successful in the NBO for so long, and to be a part of the Red Army. I mean, in terms of Australian basketball, there's not much more you could want, from a fan base, from a culture standpoint, from a winning standpoint. So I'm super excited to get things moving, and I think this is the best decision for me moving forward.
How's the injury? You're all over that stopped your season last year?
I mean, I don't know, man. I was in summer league on 1 foot, but I did all right out there. I'm going to keep progressing, keep rehabbing, and I can tell you by November 18th, I'll be ready to go in Charlotte of Buchanan.
Vic, it's Paddy Swenny from Channel 9 in Perth. Mate, just wondering how the dialogue or the conversations happened between yourself, Scott, and Danny, and sort of who contacted who and how it all unfolded.
Well, I don't really know. I kind of just, I know for me, a good priority for mine is when I'm playing and doing whatever endeavor I'm doing, I kind of put my all into that, and I let my surrounding supporting cast kind of take care of everything else. So, when I was in summer league, that was my main goal. That was my, huge derivative, was just to play as well as I could and put myself in a position where, whatever happened after summer league, I was happy with, right? Like, get as many options as you could, and then sit down and look at them at the end of the day. And my agent, Adam Pinsack, kind of told me that Perth was one of the teams interested. Australia was very good to me. I was super comfortable in Brisbane. I loved the culture, and it was a beautiful country just to be in, right? Like, it was my first time playing overseas, and it wasn't so much of a culture shock as it is some places in Europe or other parts of the world. Coupling that with the high level of basketball this year, getting a chance to be represented and put on that Perth uniform was something that was attractive to me. So, I don't really care who contacted who. I'm just happy we got to where we are.
And then, in terms of you mentioned the options, why was there any talk about returning to Brisbane, or why not Brisbane? And I guess where else were the options lying?
Yeah, I'm sure. My agent had contacts with Brisbane. I love the Bullets, right? Like, the Bullets I thought we did a good job. I had a good time in Brisbane, but I thought it was time for upward movement for myself and my career and where I was standing. I have nothing, bad to say about Brisbane. I thought they did a good job, but right now for me, I thought Perth was the best, right? Like, the answer to that, I don't want to talk about why not Brisbane. The only thing I want to answer is why Perth. And I thought I would put myself in a great position to move forward with the red and black and be a part of this Red Army.
And just in terms of your injury, you had that surgery done as well. You mentioned you're on one leg in the summer league there, but how much work do you still need to do to be there, I guess, for the season opener?
Just polishing some things up. Like, I played in summer league. I thought for myself personally, I'm super hard on myself always. I thought I wasn't as explosive or creative, off the bounce, kind of one-on-one as I would have wanted to be. And that's just continuing to get confidence back in my ankle and the stability and balance and strength in my left leg. But, as you saw, I made it work and figured some things out. So I think if I can do that, then, season's gonna start for another 2 months, right? And, I know Coach Morrison and Danny are gonna run a tight ship and get us in the best shape and get us trained. So, I'll be ready.
And just finally, when do you hope to get out to Perth? It's quite funny, really, because there's yourself, Scott, and Danny all over there in the States at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Can you buy me a ticket? If you buy me a ticket tomorrow, I'll come tomorrow. But I'll wait for them to tell me when my flight's going to come out. But you buy me a first class ticket, I'll come out there tomorrow. All
right, it's a done deal.
Geez, you got some scoring power now, Scott, with Vic and Bryce and Todd Blanchfield all there, and your starters. It must be exciting to know that you've got a lot of blokes who can produce a big score for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think not only can they score, but they can all play multiple positions. That's big for me. I like that. Like having versatility out there and different options. And really excited about having Vic on. Got a chance to watch him play more in depth the last couple of weeks. And I think Danny's doing a great job filling the roster. And just for me, speaking for myself, it's a lot more fun knowing who you're going to have out there. So the more we can fill it up, the better. And I know we're getting down there, and I'm excited to kind of start planning some stuff to really showcase Vic's strengths.
How much of him had you seen throughout his development and coming through the system over there?
I mean, I was definitely aware of him, and I've seen him play a few times in passing and watching the summer league and his time in the Orlando system. So I was familiar with him, but it wasn't until the last couple of weeks where I really watched, all of his clips, all of his possessions from his time in the NBL. And obviously, he's a proven player there. He had a lot of success. And speaking with a couple of the players today, casually, I know they're very excited to have him as well.
He was so dynamic when he was up and going. How big is his future, do you feel? We know everyone has aspirations to get to the NBA. Is that something do you think is realistic for him quite soon?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Vic and I were talking today, and the thing about the NBA, there's a lot of guys who have the talent to be in the NBA that aren't currently in the league for whatever reason. And in Vic's case, I think he just needs a little bit more opportunity, a little bit more time to prove that he belongs. And hopefully this is the place to do it, if that's what his goal is.
I assume that's your goal, Vic?
My first goal is to win a championship in Perth. I'll handle the NBA after this season.
The fact that you're managed by Bryce's manager, John Mooney's manager, who all had so much success at Perth, did his knowledge of the club help you to make this decision?
For sure. I think he had familiarity with it, but at the end of the day, it was my decision. I think my agent, the only thing he could do was, lay the options on the table and then list the facts, right? Like the only thing you can do with your players is kind of show them the path, but you got to let them choose what they think is best. And for me, just hearing Coach Morrison, Danny, and talking to some of the guys, it was almost seemed like a no-brainer to me. Coming back to Australia and coming to Perth, I had a lot of good options in Europe. Obviously, had some options in the G League and some training camp options, but Perth just seems very appealing to me, and I'm excited to get down there.
Welcome back, Vic.
Thank you.
You're an NBA level player. There's no doubt about that. We've seen that on that stage before. As hard as you are on yourself, we saw that at the Summer League, no doubt about it. Can we just drill down a little bit more into those kind of other options that you've turned down in order to sign with Perth? I mean, did you have Exhibit 10 deals on the table? Did you have, what were those offers in Europe that you turned down to come here?
Yeah, I had a good amount of Exhibit 10 deals, some different things. I mean, some of the feedback that we were getting was, teams are just like, injury concerns. Vic's an NBA guy, but can he do it for 82 games? Too good for the G League, but is he an NBA level player? And that, to me, kind of struck me just as like, I want to keep proving, right? Like, I want to play at the highest level I can and prove to everyone that, I can be one of the best players, or at least impact winning at the highest level, right? Like, I don't, name whoever you want as the best player, but as long as I'm kind of within the culture, within that team, helping and impacting as much as I can, that's all I really care about. But yeah, I had a couple spots in Israel, France, and a couple more from Europe were coming in. But I don't know if you know, Europe is really strict, and they kind of want you there 2 days ago, right? And as myself kind of still nursing this injury and getting back to exactly where I want to be, I didn't want to go to Europe and I guess tough it out, right? And I could have done that. That could have been a path we went to, but I didn't want to come back next year during this time next year and kind of be like, I still think something is a little off, or maybe I could have taken more time off. So I just thought for me, like, this was the best decision. I don't think that means I'll need any more extra time by the time I get to Perth, but I thought, this, the NBL doesn't start November 18th, right? Some of the Euro seasons start next week or in 2 weeks. So to have to go over to Europe, maybe quarantine, I don't really know how it worked. But I just wanted to give myself just the exact right amount of time. So when Vic Law's on the court, he's giving his absolute best foot forward every time.
You spoke before about being excited about pairing up with Bryce. What is it about him and his game that you're excited to play with and you feel will work well with yours?
Well, it's actually funny. It's a small world. So last year in the hub, some of Orlando Johnson kind of connected me with Bryce, Lamar, Keeper Sykes, because they were all former teammates in the development league in the NBA. And I got to meet him and talk to him. And it was funny when I saw him, he looked so familiar and I couldn't really remember what it was from. And it's funny, I got recruited by Providence pretty heavy when I was in high school. And the coach had put my father in touch with a player's mother to kind of get him to feel more comfortable with the system. And it was Bryce's mom. And my dad and his mom kind of connected and, talked about the school. And even though I ultimately didn't end up going there, I know we paid close attention to Providence, like throughout my decision-making process. And my dad would always say that Cotton dude is, his mother is so nice. That's who Ed Cooley introduced me to kind of get us into the family environment into Providence. So, I know he's a great dude. I've met him before. I've talked to him. I'm really excited to play him because, last year in the NBL, we had Toby, but a lot of time when I touched the ball, it was a quick double team wherever I was. And I'm excited now to see how many times they're going to double or who the hell they're going to double now. So it'll be fun getting to Perth and seeing how other teams are going to guard us.
A big part of Vic, I think, choosing us was our pitch to him was we believe he's an NBA talent and we want to get him there. So there's certainly optionality on his end to a certain date where, like, if he gets opportunities, then we want to give Vic all the chance in the world to reach his dreams and play in the NBA.
Danny, very versatile, which is great, but are you going to be big enough? I suppose that's the next import spot. Is that a big that's going to rock things underneath the basket?
I think we're keeping it all open, honestly. The way the game's trending, it's versatile, positionless, and I don't think necessarily you have to go and find an American big. I think there's options across the board. So the 5 spot and definitely a wing type 3-and-D type prospect is something we're looking at. And I feel very confident with where the market's at the moment. We're in a prime position to just evaluate. I don't think we're in any rush. I think we've got some awesome options on the table at the moment that we're looking over. Great that we've got Vic locked in, we've got Scott on board, so we can all kind of get a clear vision of where we feel this roster is headed and kind of what we feel will be the next piece to kind of get us to the level that we all know we need to get to, which is being a championship contender.
And just one, sorry for Vic, just very quickly, I say this with a smile on my face, Vic, are there going to be enough shots for you to get up with Bryce and Blanchfield? They don't mind scoring plenty of points out there.
Well, I mean, I guess I got to ask your question with a question. You asked Danny that. What, you don't think I can get down there and bang and rebound? Why do we need to get bigger? I'll rebound here and there. But I have no problem with it, right? I think the better the team, the better. I'll figure it out, right? Like, take nothing away from Bryce. He's won his MVPs. He's very established. Blanchfield is good. Norton is great. They got young talent, Luke Travers. Like, the team is good. And I'm not trying to come in there and mess anything up. I'll fit in and get my shots and be efficient where I can get in.